Today, we're going to be installing and reviewing Nordic Souls 3.0 Beta 1. Now, I'm going to go through the full installation process and how to install it. It's a little tricky, but it's pretty easy to do. And then afterwards, we're going to be doing a little gameplay, check out some of the visuals, as well as do a performance test towards the end of the video. And if you want to jump ahead, I will add chapters. Now, in order to install Nordic Souls 3.0, you're going to have to actually download it manually from the Discord. So if you're on the Nexus page here, this is Nordic Souls, you've got the files here, but this is not the right file. This is 2.4.1. That's your 2.0 stable version of Nordic Souls. So what we're going to want to do, go to posts here, and then there's a link here to join the Discord. You have to hit on this link to join the Discord, accept the invite. And I've already accepted this invite. You have to do your standard prompts and whatnot, read the rules, adhere to any of their rules or whatever in the Discord. And anyway, once you've done that, you can go to this one here, this category here, Nordic Souls. And this is going to show you all the information about Nordic Souls 3.0 beta. Now, this is a beta 1. Now, this just opened up to public beta. So that's the cool thing here. It used to be in a closed beta. Now it's in a public beta. So anyone can download and install it. And you can go through here and see some of your notes and whatnot of what's been removed, what's been changed. And then once you're done reading all that, we can go ahead and click on this download it here button. It's going to take us to a Google Drive page. And in this case, I have a dedicated drive just for modding. And inside my Wabbajack folder, I'm not going to go through a full Wabbajack installation, but I'm just going to download this straight to my Wabbajack downloads folder. Now, once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and open up Wabbajack. And with the new Wabbajack 4.0, there is a specific spot where we can install a mod list manually. So what you're going to have to do now is go to Browse Mod Lists. And there's a little button right here up top, Install from Disk. That's what we're going to want to do. Because if we search for Nordic Souls, it's going to pop up here, but it's not the right version. It's actually the older version. If we actually click in on it, it says 2.4.1.1. So the beta is not actually hosted on Wabbajack. We're going to have to install from disk. So we're going to go find that area we downloaded, Nordic Souls Beta 2, right here. And there it goes. Now we know that we're on the right version. It says version 3.0 here. This is the beta. And then we want to set up our installation location. If you guys are familiar with my videos, you know I like to set them up in a folder on that same SSD called Wabbajack Mods, Skyrim, and then I'm just going to create a new folder here. Nordic Souls, say 3.0 beta, so we know that it is still in beta. Select this folder. And then your download location. I like to keep all of my downloads for all games in one folder. That way, if it's using similar mods from other mod lists, it doesn't have to re-download them, and it's just going to have to extract the file and then install it straight to our installation location. Saves a ton of time if you have enough space on your SSD to store all of those downloads. In my case, I do have a pretty high capacity SSD. It's a 4 terabyte one that I got on a Black Friday sale. And once we've got our folders all set up, we can go ahead and hit this install button here. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with Wabbajack, I actually have a full guide on my channel on how to use Wabbajack and what to look for. But some other things to note, I mean, if you need some installation instructions, it always brings up an install file here, and you can go and find this on their GitHub. So if you need any installation instructions, you can always go ahead and look on their GitHub and see what you need so that we can avoid any failures when we're installing these mod lists. And I'm not going to go through all of this today. Like I said, if you need a more in-depth guide on how to use Wabbajack, go ahead and check out that other video. Now, the cool thing here with this new Wabbajack, and I showed this in my last video, is you can go to the log viewer tab and you can see exactly what's going on here. So it's showing you what it's downloading, what it needs to download, and it'll start extracting the files after it's done downloading the files and then putting them in the correct location and the correct load order. So we're going to go ahead and let it do its thing, and then we'll come back when it's done. All right, we back in. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this Open in File Explorer button here, which is such a nice add-on for the new Wabbajack. Sends me directly to the installation location of Nordic Souls. And I want to run this mod organizer, exe. If you're unfamiliar with running these mod lists, that is what you're going to need to run in order to launch this game. Essentially, it's a portable version of a mod organizer. Here, over here, you've got all of your mods. They're all in nice categories in the correct load order for you. You can go ahead and look at them if you'd like. Sometimes these mod lists have a profile. I don't think this one does. Nope, looks like there's just one profile. And once we're done looking over all that, we're going to go ahead and hit this run button here. All right, here we are here. Go with the cat character, always. And you know I don't do much for the character creation stuff. One of these days I'll go through the whole thing, do the whole character creation. But today I'm just going to make a really quick character. Mr. Nordic Kitty. There we go. Perfect. Please wait for MCMs to finish loading. Oh, that's cool that they prompt you that. A lot of times I don't even tell you that. So up here you want to make sure all of this finishes loading. And once it's gone, like it is right now, then we're good to go. All right, that's completed loading in the top right. Said I could pick an aura, but nothing seemed to happen there. Oh, it looks like it's still trying to load some things here. But I think we're fine to kind of start some of this stuff here. Empty chest. Let's see. Where the heck are we?
Approach.
Get caught crossing the border illegally. Uh-oh. Let's see. Camping in the woods. A patron at a local inn.
Which
you
inn
know
are
it.
you a patron of?
All right, we're just gonna go to the Sleeping Giant Inn in Riverwood.
Even the lowest among.
Okay. Actually, there is typically a bed or something you'd want to sleep in. Maybe there. Okay, there we go.
Come on in. We got warm food.
Got to activate that little circle there. All right, we'll start here in the inn. I'm gonna put my weird hands away. There we go.
Orgnar, are you listening?
Hard not to.
This is
Mail
cool.
is going bad. We need to get a new batch.
Delphine, settle down.
Mail's going bad.
I guess you don't have potatoes in your ears.
Yeah, this is a little different than I'm used to. I do like it though, the stone. That's really nice. Give us a chance to check out our fires. Those look good. That's like an accurate looking fire. That's one of the problems I have with Nulvis is I think the fires they're like too red, you know? This is like a pretty standard looking yellowish orange fire. Looks pretty accurate to me. Got your light peering in.
You're that visitor been poking around.
NPCs look pretty good.
I'm the innkeeper. It's my business.
All right,
to
let's
keep
head
the
out.
straight.
Oh, this is cool. I can tell too. We're gonna do a performance test later on in the video. I can already kind of tell this is running pretty nicely. In fact, let's just do a quick little preview. Yeah, it's running at 60. In fact, it's probably looks like it has a cap on it, which means it can probably go higher, and I'll have to figure out how to remove that cap. We'll do that later. So far, I'm liking the music too. Sometimes I really just like hate the added music. I'm a sucker for the original OG Skyrim soundtrack. Like, I'm not a big fan of when they add different music. Let's see. Let's make it... Okay, it's like an overcast day with a little bit of snow. Let's see if we can get it to be sunny. And then we'll do like a night test as well. Okay, well, we're going for sunny. We got some rain. Give us a chance to check out the rain. This actually looks really good to me. So far, I'm really digging this mod list. Like sometimes the mod lists, the rain just looks like a waterfall. Like it's way too dense. But this is solid. This is like kind of pretty accurate to like your standard like real life rain. All right, let's see if we can get it to be, like I said, daytime, not overcast. Going for sunny here. Maybe that's not something you can get. Oh, here we go. So now it's sunny out. This is pretty cool. This reminds me a lot of Eldergleam. With these pines, they're using the same pine trees. I really like these. Yeah, those are solid. I'm a sucker for a good tree. Or a pine. Alright. No, this looks great, though. Some of the shrubbery going over, like, on the sides of the road. The pine trees. Look at some of the buildings. Buildings are, I think, a little different than what I've seen, but I like them. They look good. And yeah, I can tell this is running really nicely. Like I said, we'll check that out a little later. So this is going over that bridge. Check this out. Oh, this is different than what I've seen. The water's almost like a little bit of green. Different than anything I've seen before. But you know, it's not bad. I'm liking it. I think the best water I've seen so far is in Eldergleam. And this reminds me so much of Eldergleam. Minus like the water. The water is a little different. So let's go ahead and get some of the water effects. Yep. Solid. Man, we gotta find some gear. Wonder if that chest from Nulvis is under the bridge there. Nope. Really, I don't think I have any gear on me, actually. Let's go ahead and check that real quick. Oh no, they do start you out with some stuff. So it's probably pretty random, but you know. You can go ahead and equip some of your stuff here. Now we've got a mace. That'll do. That will do. Put it away for now. I know, I'm trying to get better about putting my weapon away. You guys have criticized me a lot for keeping my weapon out while I'm doing some of these visuals, checking out the towns and what. I'm trying to be better about it, alright guys? Alright. You know, give me a break here. Give me a break. Alright, let's go ahead and do our standard. We're going to go into Whiterun over the bridge. Find our wolf friend. Oh, this will give us a chance to look at these trees. Those are solid. These are some of my favorite modded trees. Because it makes so much sense, you know, you're in a tundra, mountainous environment. And I'm from Colorado, so, you know, this looks like pretty accurate to when I go into the mountains. There's your mountain right there. It is absolutely wild how crazy these mod lists are looking. And I am running this at 4K. Oh, there's our wolf. Whoa. That's a different looking wolf than I've seen. Oh, man, he got away. He's like, nope. All right. Get back here. I actually like this wolf a lot, too, because it looks like actually, like, it's got a little bit of fur and whatnot. And I wish the sun would be over this blood, but I think the blood looks pretty good too. Sometimes the blood is like super oversaturated. And it's like, okay, this isn't even accurate, guys. Let's see if I can get it to be. There we go. Yeah, I could already tell even under the shadows that this looked more accurate to like standard looking blood. And these roads look really good too, with the rocks and everything. Yeah, I like those new wolves. That looks cool. So far, I'm really liking this mod list. In fact, this might be overtaking what my original favorite was. Well, I'm not really sure what my original favorite is right now. I'm kind of torn between a few of them. And at some point, I might come up with like a tier list. But this is looking over Whiterun. Pretty solid. Less trees than something, say, like Nulvis. Some people like that. Some people hate that. This looks pretty good. A little bit of flickering going on. This is still a beta, so, you know, keep that in mind. And seriously, I keep talking about this, but I can tell this is running really well. They've done a great job with optimizing the performance. Now, there is less trees and whatnot going through here, but it still looks really good. Like, everything put together looks solid. And then I'm not actually sure how much different quests and whatnot are involved. Like, here's your standard vanilla giant quest. Got him. Good work, guys. Starting to get a little darker out with like a slight amount of rain. All right, let's go to our tab menu. Just want to look at the skill trees to see how vanilla this is. This looks pretty vanilla to me. I don't think they've added much for like additional skill trees and whatnot. And it seems like a lot of the standard vanilla mods are still in place. So this could be a lot, mostly just visuals. We'll head into Whiterun, see what that looks like. We'll check out a few other cities. This one will be slightly longer. A standard video length, I guess. Yo. You gonna stop me? No? Okay. Typically they stop me there if the standard vanilla quests are in place. That was kind of interesting. Yeah, this reminds me a lot of Eldergleam. In fact, even these roads are almost nearly the same.
But we must have more swords for the Imperial.
I wonder how much... Oh, sorry guys. Swords out again. I know. Can't help myself. When I used to play this 10 years ago, I would always just keep my sword out everywhere. I didn't care. They'd be like, whoa, what are you doing with that sword? I'm like, bro, I'm just walking here. This is what I do. But yes, back to what I was saying. This seems like, and I don't know who has more influence from the other, but this seems almost like, almost identical to Eldergleam and vice versa. All right, let's get it to be like brighter out here. Oh, and you know what? We forgot to do the night test in Riverwood. We'll do that here as well. Okay, so this is still kind of overcast. There we go. All right, here we go. We got it to be like bright outside with the sun. Looks solid though. Looks good. Check out some of our... Okay, so some of these NPCs are the same NPCs from something, say, like NGVO. Yeah, this looks like the same NPCs from NGVO.
Stored away.
It was nice, subtle. It's no Nulvis. That was the coolest Arcadia's shop I've ever seen. That's one thing I really did like about Nulvis is all the interiors, especially in Whiterun, are so elaborate with like basements and all kinds of stuff. These are pretty standard, you know, like kind of more vanilla looking. All right, so let's go ahead and check out some other areas. Go into my console command and show all map markers. Boom. All right, standard map that we see in most all of these. want to do that. Check out Solitude. Ooh, I like this. This is cool.
Positions.
Sorry, you need to go home. Go home and stay there until your mother comes.
Get on with it!
Rated M for mature.
You should tell her that her uncle is scum that betrayed his high king. Best she know now.
Alright, we don't have to watch this whole thing.
You're all hard.
If you guys have played Skyrim before, you know exactly what happens there. Alright, oh my god, I forgot to do the night test again. Okay. This is where, actually, I typically do a night test anyway, so this will be fine. Give me like, and yeah, I guess it's 10 p.m. right now. Here we go. This is typically like the darkest point of the night, like 11. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. A little overcast. Let's go 24 hours in advance here. See if we can get it to be not overcast. It seems like this mod list, it's overcast quite a bit. Or raining. There we go. Look at that. That's cool. Like it. See what it makes like the area looks like. Looks solid. I really like this. For like a nighttime. Sometimes the night like too dark. That's kind of has to do with the EMB a lot of times. But in this case, this is pretty much perfect for what I like when I'm playing a video game and it's nighttime outside. Like, I hate when it's like the point where you literally can't even see where you're walking. Like, you're running into fences. Or like boulders, and you're like, oh, there's a boulder there. Because you literally can't see anything. Dang. This is honestly maybe one of my top mod lists so far in terms of the visuals. I'm really digging it. This is solid. Pretty solid. All right, let's check out a quick interior. We're gonna go check out Riften, and then we'll start our performance testing. All right, and we just had our first crash. So, like I wanted to say, this is beta 1. So I tried to go into the Blue Palace in Solitude, and my screen just went black, and it never even loaded into the building. So just keep that in mind if you guys are installing this. This is in a beta state. But so far, I mean, tons of potential. I'm really liking this mod list so far. All right, so here we are in Riften. And it's raining and pretty dark outside. Looks pretty good.
Hey, you, get over here.
Ignore him. Ignore him. Now, this looks solid. And also, just so you guys know, I had a couple crashes, and I think the reasoning was because autosave was turned on. So I'd recommend probably turning off save on rest, save on wait, and save on travel, as I think it was causing some crashes when I was like going in between buildings and waiting in certain areas. So just FYI, again, this isn't a beta. I know I've said it a couple times, but you're gonna get some crashes. That's just how it is. But yeah, this looks solid. I like this. All right, let's make it daytime. Hope we don't have any more crashes. Let's go like 11. 11 with some rain. Check out your water. All right, so it looks like same water. So it's kind of that green water. I'm not sure I am sold on the water. Not bad. You guys know I'm a big water critic. I guess it works okay in Riften, or it's kind of, you know, like supposed to be grimier looking water. Let's see if we can clear up this rain. See what it looks like. All right, here we go. Kind of overcast day. Actually, I like it now when it's like overcast. Actually looks pretty good. Still very green though. Still very green. Not bad though, not bad.
Looking to stay alive? take a chance.
Saw a ladder there. I was like, wait, can I go up that? Nope. Yeah, this looks good though for rifting. I'm liking it. Similar to what I've seen before, but pretty solid. You know, a lot of good little parallax effects with the stone.
And live to tell about it.
Check out the pub. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not the pub.
I've never seen the old this upset about anything.
Here it is.
Really gets to her.
The coin, you've come to the right place. Pull up a seat.
Subtle, but looks good. Like to look at the assets here. You know, your pies, your cheeses. Less tables than I've seen before. Get a better look at some of your NPCs.
Yeah. What's your problem?
What's up, Sapphire? She's like, what do you want? You want to fight?
Yeah. What's your problem?
What's my problem? There's no problem. We're good. We're good here. Just looking at this loaf of bread. Why is everyone staring at me? I walked into the wrong bar. They're just like, dude, we're just trying to enjoy our food. Come on. Look at the fire real quick, and then we'll jump into Riverwood and start performance testing of this review. All right, and real quick, I almost forgot. So I had one criticism in my comments from last week that I didn't go over a lot of like the mechanics as much. This mod list specifically doesn't have a whole lot of like mechanics per se that they've added, but here is at least what I can show you what like a Daedric armor set looks like. This is my favorite armor set. And then that's with the Daedric sword and the Dawnbreaker. This is one of my favorite builds. And I just spawned all this stuff in, you know, cheat codes. So anyway, this is exactly some of the stuff that I think a lot of people would like, where they can add their own quests and whatnot, but then still have the really cool armors that are modded and the different like swords and whatnot. Because I think this looks really awesome for Daedric. I've had a few mod lists where like I've looked at the Daedric armor and I'm just like, wow, that looks absolutely awful. But this looks solid. I really like this armor specifically. All right, so here we are in the performance testing, and I did have to go into the settings here. You have to do that by hitting shift and then enter to get to your ENB settings. And I had to uncheck the FPS limiter. It had a limit on here, and then you have to hit save and then apply. And I believe this is still using the Ruby ENB from 2.0. Now let's go ahead and put our performance overlay on. There we go. So in the top left, I've got a performance overlay. I run these mod lists at 4K with a 4080 Super, and my CPU is a 9800 X3D from AMD, and I have 32 gigs of RAM. So it is a pretty nice system, but I will say this already right off the bat. This is the best performance I have seen from any mod list I have reviewed so far. And I'm not going to say that it looks any like worse than some of the ones that I've reviewed. It looks really good. And yeah, I mean, I'm through Riverwood here. I'm getting 80 right now, which is insane. Typically with some of the other mod lists I've reviewed, it's, you know, around like 60 or so, pretty solid. But freaking 80, and this is without any kind of frame generation, or at least I'm pretty sure there is no frame generation. Actually, I already know there's not, because the frame generation mod doesn't work with my overlay. So yeah, 80 FPS, absolutely crazy. So let's check a quick interior. You always get a little better performance when you're going into an interior because there's less assets for it to load. So yeah, we're getting almost 100 in here. This is crazy because I would say this looks probably just as good as Eldergleam. It's almost the same mods from what I can tell. But the performance is like 30% better. Like, this is insane. This is crazy. All right, let's run over the bridge here. Check the water on each side. So I typically always get a lot better frame rate looking at the water this way. 84. And then from looking at the water this way, it's a little lower. 75. That's solid. And like I said, I mean, this looks just as good as some of the other mod lists I've reviewed, like Eldergleam or NGVO. Still not fully sold on the green water. But, you know, that's something you can change. That's the beauty about some of these mod lists, is if there's something you don't like, you can change it. God, I do love these tall trees. Looks really cool. All right, let's do a fast travel into Whiterun so we don't have to go through this whole thing again. All right, it's raining. Almost 80 FPS. This is seriously crazy. Like, I already could tell, like, as soon as I loaded this in, I was like, wow, this is running really smooth for 4K. A lot of times I'm like, oh, this is like sub 60. I've played enough video games that I can tell without it there even being a frame counter, like what frame rate I'm getting. All right, so this is at night. 80 FPS. Do want to clear up this rain just to see what we're getting, because there's a couple benchmarks that I like to look at where I can compare the different mod lists. So let's do that real quick. Go ahead and get it to be like daytime without the rain. Here we go. Let's just make it like almost 12. Okay, so a lot of times when I look at this house, I can kind of break 90, like kind of at this angle.
Staying safe, I hope.
I was actually expecting higher, but I mean, this is so really crazy. So running through here, getting like 80,
I work for Bellafor.
oh, 80 plus, almost 85. And I've got another benchmark where I like to look at this guy, like so. Freaking 87. Once everything kind of settles. 85, 87. This is blowing my mind, because this is honestly the best performance I've seen in any mod list I've reviewed so far. This is absolutely awesome. All right, let's go out and check out the grass. So typically grass mods in general are what's going to take out your frame rate the most. So we'll go out just right outside of Whiterun here. There's a nice little field over here. All right, and yeah, I mean, it's good grass mods too. That's the other thing. Sometimes the grass mods are like static, and you know, like the performance is better, but that's just because they're not like waving in the wind. Some of these other grass mods are. This is like your standard 3D grass mod. This is crazy. I was not expecting to hit 80 FPS running through here. This is seriously absolutely blowing my mind right now. Tons of potential with this mod list. If they can work out some of the crashes and whatnot, this could overtake as being one of my favorite visual mod lists, if not my favorite one, because I put a pretty big criticism on performance with these. Like, if you can essentially optimize your mod list to run at like 80 FPS at 4K, you're doing something right. All right, and then really quick, we'll just make it like not overcast. Or you know what? Let's do a quick night test actually. So here we go. It's pretty dark out. Yep. I mean, we're still getting anywhere from, it did go down a little bit. We're getting like 68, 65. Here's your giant camp. And looking away from the giant camp, I would expect it to go a little higher. Yep. like 75 through here. So anyway, that'll do it for this video. If you guys have any other mod lists you'd like me to check out or review, let me know down below in the comments section. I'm going to be doing some more videos on PC performance tests, Skyrim mod lists, that kind of stuff. So if you're interested, subscribe to the channel. And as always, have a wonderful day.